Welcome to Chilebrity podcast, and I'm one of the hosts, Brandon Dye TV.
Hey, this is your girl DTB here at Shy Celebrity, and here we go with this week's recap.
So much happened this week in Chicago, and so much happened with people who are from Chicago this week. The first topic I want to talk about is Kanye West and his infamous White Lives Matter t-shirt. He debuted the t-shirt during Paris Fashion Week. So I just want to share a few of my thoughts about the situation, and this is what I have to say about it. Before I express my opinion, I just want to say that all lives matter. Every single human being on this earth matters to the Most High. However, I think Kanye West did this for attention and the world fell for it. The phrase Black Lives Matter was created because black people are killed at a higher rate than any other group by police. The phrase was not created to suggest black lives were more significant than any other race. This shirt worn by Kanye seems hypocritical because he loves to bring up his blackness when he's being overshadowed or overpowered by his white family, aka Kris Jenner. When he's not getting his way with white people, he is quick to say that they have an advantage over him due to their whiteness. For Kanye to publicly state that Black Lives Matter was a scam is not far from the truth, but that doesn't change the initial meaning behind the phrase. According to data collected by the Washington Post, police shot and killed at least 1,055 people nationwide last year, the most since the newspaper began tracking fatal shootings by police officers in 2015. That is more than 1,021 shootings in 2020 and the 999 in 2019. Black people, who account for 13% of the U.S. population, accounted for 27% of those fatally shot and killed by police in 2021, according to Mapping Police Violence, a nonprofit group that tracks police shootings. That means black people are twice as likely as white people to be shot and killed by police. So this is the reason behind the outrage from the black community. So yes, white lives do matter, but they seem to matter more than black lives as it pertains to police brutality. All lives matter at the end of the day, but we cannot ignore the fact that being white affords a certain protection that being a minority does not in the United States of America. Kanye West wants white praise and attention, and he doesn't care about anyone's life other than his own. And that's just my personal opinion, but I'm going to let DTB express how she views the White Lives Matters t-shirt.
I see no wrong with anything that he's doing. To me, he's kind of like a unbrainwashed man or like someone who doesn't want to be a puppet, and every time he's seen on TV or in reality, he's thinking and moving in a higher vibration and power than most people like to acknowledge. So everything that this man does, in my opinion, is always downgraded. Kanye has never even been congratulated for anything that he does. So it doesn't surprise me when he does anything to get any type of attention. There's always going to be backlash. That's all I have to say on the Kanye situation. I want to talk about Keke Palmer launching her own TV network called Keke TV. I can't wait to see what type of media and type of attention she's going to bring to her broadcast because, like I mentioned before, I only see her doing intellectual, women empowering type of things. So I expect to see a lot of diverse, not just African American focuses on her broadcast. I hope us as a nation and as a race doesn't just assume just because she has a broadcast that is just going to be all for black people. Yes, it is going to be for black people, I believe, but it's not going to be just negative situations or just you're not just going to see all black faces in black situations on her broadcast. That's what I believe, and I hope people don't expect that at all either.
I definitely agree with DTB. I know for a fact Keke Palmer is going to show so much range and so much diversity on her shows because she has been in the industry since she was a child. So I'm sure she has seen and experienced so much, and she has so much wisdom that I'm sure she's going to share with the younger generation that's looking up at her. She is literally a role model to so many young girls and boys. So I know for a fact she's going to use her network to push people to enlighten themselves and be more positive. I don't see Keke Palmer coming out with something that is ratchet like Love and Hip Hop on her network or something of that stature. I know for a fact it will be classy and it will make everyone proud to be a part of it in a sense. The next topic that I want to go over is DaniLeigh and Kendra G. I don't know if you all know, but this week DaniLeigh came to Chicago and had a performance at the House of Blues. And, DTB herself has worked at the House of Blues. So she's very familiar with the industry and how things work, how interviews are scheduled, etc. And according to DaniLeigh's team, she didn't want to do the interview with WGCI, which Kendra G is a part of, because Kendra G was going to be on the show. So once her team communicated this to the network, they told Kendra G that DaniLeigh did not want to do the interview with her. So as a result, Kendra G hopped on her broadcast and completely put DaniLeigh on blast and insinuated that DaniLeigh did not want to do the interview with her because she was a dark skinned black woman. That was her understanding of the situation in the beginning. So, after some time passed, DaniLeigh ended up connecting with Kendra G and they hashed it out. Apparently, there was a big misunderstanding, and DaniLeigh never informed her team that she did not want to do the interview with Kendra. DaniLeigh claims her team stated that on her behalf. But I personally find that extremely hard to believe. Yes, Wildin' Out stated that DaniLeigh wanted B. Simone removed from the show for the episode that she was going to film. I can understand why she had B. Simone removed because B. Simone was infatuated with the father of her child. However, because she had her removed, I just don't feel it's too far fetched for her to say she wants someone else removed from a radio show. In my personal opinion, I could be wrong. I think she allegedly saw how much backlash she was getting and how much people were loving the read that Kendra G gave her and just wanted to save face. That's my personal opinion, but I could be wrong. But I will say that regardless if she cleaned up her act because she was embarrassed, doesn't really matter. It's the fact that she did try to clean up her act. So I hope that this teaches DaniLeigh that you need to move appropriately in this industry because people are not going to make way for you just because you identify as an ambiguous woman and you don't identify as black. That doesn't make you better or less than any other woman. I don't care what race you are, just as I stated before during my commentary about white lives matter. Yes, white lives matter, black lives matter, Asian lives matter, Mexican lives matter, dark skinned women matter, light skinned women matter, everybody matters. So people should not be singling out people because they're uncomfortable. This industry is all about being uncomfortable until you earn the right to be able to move the way you want to. And DaniLeigh has to put in more work before she's on the Beyonce level and doesn't have to even do interviews. But I'm gonna let DTB express her opinion on the Kendra G and DaniLeigh situation.
My personal opinion on the situation is, yeah, maybe Danny did request for Kendra not to be on her show. Maybe it's because of the type of questions Kendra was going to ask her. Let's not act like Kendra haven't been in the media or its petitions going around I've seen for her to be taken off the radio because of the type of topics and questions that she asks people. Maybe that's a factor. Not trying to say someone should act like they better than someone, but maybe Danny is on a higher pedestal in life and on a higher vibration in life, and she doesn't want that type of energy around her. That's my personal opinion. I have my own personal opinion about Kendra G. I'm not a fan of her, and it's because of the type of platform and power that she has, and she only suffices to what the radio tell her, or she only pick topics that's degrading to me. So I'm with Danny on this, and I feel like she shouldn't feel bad about her decision. Yes, it was good for her to come back and show that maybe she didn't say it was because of Kendra was of a darker skin. Maybe Kendra said that. Like, people have to honestly look at different people in different situations and the type of situations and topics that are brought up about them, and then decipher who's right and who's wrong. And that's my decision on that topic. I really didn't have much to talk about this week because I've been so busy ending my sports baseball seasons with White Sox. I got to witness our director of order of operations, Mark Luckett. He got to throw the first pitch today, and it was so good to see him. I actually got to see him practice, and he was only the first person that I seen taking it serious to practice. So good things are coming for the White Sox next season. I started my Bulls season, and I'm so excited to see where they're gonna go. We have some new players this season, and we have some old players this season. I want to see how they match up with each other. It's just a preseason, so I hope people don't get mad with how they're losing or winning, because we know how they play. If you are a good Bulls fan, if you are a long-term Bulls fan, you should know how they play, and don't worry, because it's a lot of good things happening in the season. And at the United Center, I want to shout out the United Center for all these good concerts that they booked. We have um, Harry Styles here for a whole week this week. We have Rod Wave just got added in November. We have Lizzo coming next week. Like, I'm gonna be so busy. I'm gonna have so much content and so much information for you guys coming up next week. I can't wait.
So the last topic that I want to transition to as far as news is concerned is the update on the 7-year-old boy who was shot in Chicago on his way to church. The reason I wanted to bring up this particular news topic is because during our first episode, I mentioned carjackings. And if you read about this situation online, it was stated that the reason the boy was shot is because the perpetrator was trying to carjack his family's vehicle. So when the family came out to try to stop the perpetrator, he ended up shooting toward the house. And that's how the 7-year-old boy was shot. Thankfully, the child was not killed, which is so great because so many children have been dying at the hands of violence, gun violence to be specific. So I'm just so happy that the boy did not die. But this is such a tragic incident because he'll have to deal with remembering that situation for the rest of his life. There has been an update. A Chicago man was charged with attempted murder and aggravated battery after he was arrested for shooting and seriously injuring a 7-year-old boy in the Roseland neighborhood. Kentrell Gaden, 22, is charged with one felony count of attempted first-degree murder, one felony count of aggravated battery discharged firearm, and two issuances of warrants, according to police. And this information was provided to us by the Chicago Tribune. I just want to say, please be careful out here in these streets. If you see somebody trying to break into your vehicle, call the police. Do not try to go up against a criminal unless you have absolutely no choice and your safety is at risk. But to try to go out there and be the person to save the day is not always a good idea, because you can get yourself hurt and you can get your family hurt. And I'm not placing blame on anybody involved in the situation. It's easy to say what we should do when we're in situations like this. But again, just be safe out here, because so much is happening in Chicago. There's a lot of good happening, but we also have to be honest about all of the violence that is taking place and just make sure that we are watching our surroundings at all times. So, the last thing that I want to get into is the fact that Chilebrity has been invited to a fashion show in Chicago that is taking place on October 15th. And the show is being put together by Blake Martin. He is super big in fashion in Chicago and just big in general. He's having a fashion show, and Shawnna is going to be hosting it, as well as Razby of B2K. So I'm so excited about that, because at first I intended on just attending the show, but I was asked to actually help be a part of the show. So I'm super excited. Me and DTB will be in attendance. And we did mention that we were going to do an interview with Shawnna on our first episode. We did reach out to her to get more information on solidifying a day and time, but we haven't heard anything back from Shawnna. We know she's really busy, so we will approach her at the fashion show and see if she's still interested in doing an interview. But don't worry, we have so much coming up, and we will be doing interviews really, really soon. And I really look forward to it. Do you have any thoughts on the fashion show, DTB?
Just super excited. I can't wait because I've been working so hard all summer, winter, and the winter is coming up, and I get to go out and enjoy myself and network and show everybody what I've been learning over the last year. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see other than Shawnna and Raz B who they gonna bring out for the Word Up event, because Word Up used to be so huge in the 90s. I can't wait to dress up and look cute, and I can't wait to just come to y'all with more information and content. You never know. We might have some guests shout out Shot Celebrity for us. Who knows? We have a lot coming. Just hope y'all stay tuned.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Shy Celebrity Podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Brandon Dye TV, and I'm with the beautiful,
DTB.
and we will continue to keep you updated weekly on everything happening in Chicago. Stay tuned. We're out. Peace.